Hi, my name is Marianne Coffey, and I am 35 years old. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I am now a widow. My husband Victor was a good man. He worked for a shipbuilding company, and one day, one of the cranes on site collapsed. We got the news that evening while we waited for him to come home.
I'm sorry, ma'am. There was an accident and your husband died.
No, please not my Victor. That news destroyed me. I had my family that morning, and by the evening, the man I had loved and built a home with was gone. My own parents had died when I was younger, and his father was out of the picture too. His mother, my mother-in-law, was not at all supportive during our marriage. She made it no secret that she didn't like me much. I wasn't good enough for her son.
I can't believe my son is dead and all I have left is you.
I tried not to let her words get to me, but it was hard. I'd just been left as a widow, and the first thing she says in support is that I'm not good enough. I'm not surprised in the least, but I am hurt beyond belief. Agnes, why would you say something so horrible?
Because it's true. My son could have done so much better, but instead he died and you were left behind. First, I was abandoned by my husband, and then my son. Why, oh why must I continually suffer?
I couldn't imagine what it must be like to have lost a child. So although I was being insulted, I knew it wasn't really about me. It was grief talking. It was her misery and anger. And she had every right to be angry. Her husband had walked away when she was a young mother, leaving her with too much responsibility and not enough money, and then she has to suffer this too. The injustice struck hard.
Well, I guess that's that then.
I had no idea what she meant, but I knew it was a bad thing. A few days later, I heard the doorbell. When I went to check, it was my mother-in-law, and she said,
I'm moving in.
My heart sank. I didn't want her here, but I knew I couldn't say no. She was family, and the last of it that I had around to help with Abigail. Turning her away would have caused irreparable damage to our relationship. I had to do what I could to ensure we didn't let this completely destroy us. Perhaps, I hoped, we could grow closer. We could make up for the missing pieces in each other's lives and live somewhat harmoniously. This dream ended as soon as it started. The day Agnes moved in, she started to try and control our lives. She would punish Abigail for making noise, declare every work surface dirty, and sit around watching TV and eating her way through my paycheck. Agnes, you can't keep living here. I can't afford to keep up with your eating habits, and I don't have time to finish the chores you keep setting.
You can't be asking me to move out.
I don't want to have to ask, but you're not doing anything. You're just draining me of money and energy.
You're going to kick me out only a month after my son has died? How dare you treat me like this, after everything I have done for you?
I have no idea what she meant when she said that. What exactly had she done for me? She didn't clean up or work or even watch over Abigail on the weekends. I did everything, and since Victor had died, I was the one who paid for everything, even when I couldn't really afford it. I was worried I was going to get into debt.
Fine, I'll leave. But you better be sure that you're ready to do it alone, because when I'm gone, I'm gone.
I knew that I was caught between a rock and a hard place. I wanted her gone almost as much as I longed for a family. So I let her stay, and things didn't change, but they also didn't get worse, which is what I knew would happen if I was completely alone. Abigail thrived in school, despite her troubles, and we missed Victor terribly. Then one day, a month before Christmas, we received a letter. It was in a big, thick envelope and was stamped with a lawyer's office.
What is that?
I don't know. I opened the letter and found a summons. It's our lawyer's office. They want to talk about Victor's will. I was so shocked by this news that I didn't even notice the sudden look that came across Agnes's face. The happy, greedy look of someone who feels as though she might never encounter trouble again. Had I noticed, I'd have been prepared for trouble. We have to go tomorrow. Goodness, that's so little time to prepare.
Prepare? Why would you need to prepare?
Because this might be the last time we have any real interaction with Victor. I should talk to Abigail.
I wouldn't bother going. Why would he have left you anything? I'm the one without a job or a home, forced to live with my depraved daughter-in-law and her spawn.
She was grieving, I reminded myself. That's the only reason she would be so mean. I went to talk to Abigail, who was playing with her dolls in her room.
Daddy left us a present.
Yeah, honey. Daddy left us a present because he loves us all the time, even if he can't be here. The next morning, I drove myself, Abigail, and Agnes to the lawyer's office. Our lawyer wore a brown suit and was quite old, but he smiled and shook all of ours hands. He looked at Agnes and frowned in confusion.
The summons was only for the wife of the deceased.
Nonsense. I am his mother.
Coffee. Are you willing to allow Victor's mother to attend the reading?
This was another moment where I knew I didn't want her there, but I couldn't deny her entry. I didn't want to end things on such a sour note, and she deserved to hear from Victor as much as I did, even though I know now that Victor hadn't left her anything. Sure, let's just get this over with. I took Abigail's hand and let her sit on my lap as the lawyer prepares to do the reading. Agnes sits and fidgets with her bracelets, licking her lips and staring intently.
Well, good morning to you all and little Miss Abigail. Might I start by telling you?
Just tell us what he left us.
I cringed. I couldn't believe how rude she was being. The lawyer blanched, looking thoroughly put out, but after looking at me, I nodded my assent.
To Miss Abigail Coffey, I leave $600,000 to be accessed only for university education. Any remaining money can be withdrawn upon the completion of your degree. I, Tony Morton, will act as overseer of this demand. To Miss Abigail Coffey, I leave $50,000 to pay her way through high school and to pay for her first car. The second half of this demand will be met with the mother of the child and the lawyer, which is myself. To Ms. Marianne Coffey, I leave the house, the car, and the total sum in my savings account minus Abigail Coffey's money. This amounts to about $380,000. This is to be used freely. Stipulations of this contract are thus: no demands should go unmet. Should Abigail Coffey fail to attend university, the money will be donated to the local campus as a scholarship for underprivileged students. No money should go to the father of the deceased. No money should go to the mother of the deceased. The lawyer, that is I, will see to it that these demands are met.
There was nothing left to say. We were saved. The money Victor left me would keep us in-house and let me put a job to the side. I could be there for Abigail more, and I didn't have to worry about saving for her college fund. More so, the will was a clear sign that Victor did not want us to have anything to do with his mother.
Excuse me? Read it again. He's lying. He wanted me to have that money. He wouldn't have given her $500,000.
Agnes was screeching at him, and he called security. As she was being dragged away, I smiled at her. Consider this an eviction notice. I took Abigail home, calmly packed the rest of Agnes's things, and then placed them at the end of the drive. Agnes didn't appear until midnight, and if I hadn't been awake in the kitchen reading, I never would have heard her. She was trying to sneak in through the window. Agnes? Agnes screeched in shock and fell. Are you breaking in? I could call the police.
You? Call the police on me? I should call the police on you. Obviously, you messed with his head so that he would give you all that money. I demand it back. Give it back, I tell you.
Leave now or I call the police.
Give me Abigail's share and I'll never be involved in your life again. That's a promise. I'll leave you forever and you'll never need to hear from me again.
Agnes, Victor made it clear in his will that he wanted you to have nothing. If you don't leave, I'll call the police. I was angry but not surprised that she tried to get me to give up my daughter's college fund, and I knew it wouldn't be the last time I saw her, but I was content in knowing that I wasn't going against Victor's wishes. She started destroying things outside the house and woke up the neighbors. I had no choice but to call the cops. She ended up spending 3 days in prison and signed a restraining order to stay away from us. A few months later, I heard that Agnes now lives in the countryside and works at an eatery. I pity her, though. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.